If he had bushy eyebrows, I think he would have seen those raised. Here we have a crack of potentially fight of the night, which is saying something given the quality that we've had on the show so far. And it features Bokhdir Жалолов, the #1 seed and 26-year-old who has won just about the lot.
In the blue corner, representing Kazakhstan, Kункабаев.
And in his way, a man he knows particularly well, the #2 seed, Kункабаев, who, like Жалолов, has picked up medals aplenty in most formats, both of them with WSB experience, both of them with recent pro experience as well, back in this code. Looking forward to seeing what the sort of pro experience has done to either of them. It's pretty even in terms of their record, Andy, between them, although in recent events, Жалолов definitely holds the upper hand.
Absolutely. They met in finals twice in this competition, 2017, 2019, the World Championships in 2019 as well, and Жалолов has won all of those. Kункабаев with a win in WSB, win in the quarterfinals of the Worlds in 2017, and in the Stranger tournament a couple of years before that, so they're very familiar with each other.
And it's the third time in a row on this night, in this event, that Жалолов and Kункабаев have faced off against each other. Жалолов has beaten Kункабаев on both occasions. I've actually called 2 out of 3 of Kункабаев's pro contests so far, and I've been really impressed by the way he's been matched and indeed the way he's fought. So I'm really interested to see how that experience is going to feed into him. You see the size difference immediately. Obviously, Жалолов, the taller southpaw in the red. Maybe that size can work against him with Kункабаев, who certainly carries a bit of a thwack, sort of both of them. So looking forward to this one.
I saw a huge Uzbek southpaw super heavyweight at the World Youths as well, Jahongir Zokirov. So there must be some kind of formula for growing them back in Uzbekistan, and he looks impressive, just 17 years old. And it's quite simple the way he goes about things, isn't he, Жалолов? He looks for that 1-2 and he lands it with good effect, and so often his opponent, I think, feels that he's too far out to land it, but with that reach and that extension he gets it somehow gets there.
Yeah, he's got pretty good feet also for a big man, I think it's fair to say as well. He's just moving round the centre circle, if you like, and he's just looking there. Watch the right hand, he's just kind of waving that distractedly, almost as if he's going to counter with a right hook. And he's playing the difficulties that Kункабаев faces, trying to get inside and underneath and then explode if he can. He's getting there, not easy. He did there with the left hand, Andy, but he only did it because Жалолов missed initially.
Both of these two with their feet planted fairly wide. You look at Жалолов there, and space between that lead foot, that back foot, trying to snap that jab and send the left hand in after it.
That's a terrific shot. That was beautiful boxing there from Жалолов, getting on the front foot, trying to not just intimidate, but ask a question of Kункабаев, get him to lead off himself, and he did that, and then he smacked him with a counter shot, and he did it really eye-catchingly. Has that left eye swelled up immediately. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, it might just be, no, it's okay, just a little nick. I thought there was a swelling there, but it was a huge shot landed by Жалолов there, the best of the fight so far.
He's just making Kункабаев fall short, isn't he, every now and again, and then clipping him with that left hand.
Well, he's got a counter referee. I mean, there was a shot landed there from Жалолov, and then he almost as Kункабаев sort of crouched down, whether it was the effect of the shot or what, not quite sure. Maybe the replays will clear that up, but it did look as though then there was a push from Жалолов just to send him over on his way. Either way, Andy, he was just starting to pick him up, and you can see, yeah, that eye it is a bit worse than it first looked on inspection. There's a little mark on his chin as well. He picked off with a couple of big shots there, Kункабаев, right towards the end of that round.
Ominous signs for him, really, as you say, towards the conclusion of the round. And that little cut, maybe slightly in the corner of the eye, maybe even on the eyelid, that can be very, very uncomfortable.
There you can see, make a miss. That's one of the things in boxing that is too easy to forget. That the first point of it should be making them miss, and then the second making them pay. Much more concentration on defence, and we saw quite a bit of it. Did you get to see the stumble, the knockdown at the end there? Difficult to see with Jalolov's big frame very much in the way of the camera, but it looked as though there might have been something of a push.
It did look more like a push. It did look more like a push. As we outlined earlier on, the fact that it was called won't necessarily do any damage there to Kункабаев. That would be extremely bad news in a pro ring, because that would result in a 10-8 round without any question. But that's not the way that the scoring is done in AIBA boxing. It is a better system in my view, in many ways. Just dipping in with that front foot there, Жалолов, that's what he tries to do, doesn't he? He tries to draw something from Kункабаев, whoever he's fighting, make them fall short, and then punish them. But when you've got that wide stance, when you've got those feet planted wide, your front foot could be right on top of your opponent, but then you can pull the weight all the way onto the back foot, and it provides this illusion that you're within range because of where your front foot is, but in effect you're actually not.
You can see the problems that the size and stature and technique, range, and the footwork significantly of Жалолов, the problems that it presents for any kind of fighter around this weight. And there again, for a big guy, the head movement and the foot movement there to make Kункабаев miss. And Kункабаев is now swiping and lunging into attacks, and an element of frustration creeping in, and you can understand why. He's been hurt in the first round, and he's been made to miss in the second.
Being made to miss is, well, it's twofold, isn't it, really? It's slightly demoralising, of course, but also it is physically draining, punching thin air. Any fighter will tell you that the missing can really run that battery down.
Still trying though, and there that sort of long left hand, he fired from below the waist, up and round. He seemed to travel a long way. He did manage to make it connect though, Kункабаев. A rare little bit of success. It's great credit to him that he is giving it absolutely everything, and well he should and might. Little bit more success, tiny bit of success, glimmer of hope maybe for Kункабаев at the end of the round.
Well, he's hanging in there, isn't he? Just sucking the air in between rounds there. You'd see that little bit of damage on the left eye. That'll be very sore, a bit of marking up around the chin and just by that left nostril too, whereas on the other hand Жалолов is fresh.
Boходir is a monster.
He's a very, very difficult man to box against, because he just does the basics very well, doesn't he? And he's got that sheer physical size, which if you've got that at super heavyweight, of course it's an advantage. Kункабаев isn't a particularly big super heavyweight, certainly not by comparison to Жалолов. And he really had to step in and almost reach with that to get it there. Really commit to it.
into the third and final round. Final round of the night, and what's been a terrific night's entertainment in boxing. Hopefully you've enjoyed so far. 3 more minutes to go. Can Kункабаев unsettle Жалолов? Can he get close to let his hands go? Warning for Жалолов about punching round the back of the head in the clinch. Again there he's making Kункабаев miss with the left hand. Just constant tilt of the shoulders one way or t'other. Just slight movement of the head from Жалолов. All the while the feet are circling too as he lets the left hand go.
Really stepped into that left hand too. Maybe the balance just deserted him a bit, so he followed it onto the shoulder, but it just gives you an idea, because we were kind of side onto that, of just how far out he can be and still look for that left hand.
Tell you what, he walked onto a very short left though from Kункабаев. Those are the moments. If he misses, these are the times when he might just be vulnerable. Kункабаев still trying to find a way. Maybe the pace is dropping. I think it's fair to say. The big guys, particularly Жалолов, and maybe just slowing down a little. Another left hand getting in there from Kункабаев. He's got that punch off slightly better in this final round.
Things have improved for him really since that opening round. That was a bit of a damaging one for him, that first 3 minutes, and I think I said at the end of that round that there were ominous signs, but he's shown his grit since then, and no little skill to lessen that gap between these two.
Yeah, Jalolov's been quieter, hasn't he? In the last sort of 3-4 minutes or so.
Couldn't quite time Kункабаев that time around. Lead right hand there though from Жалолов, and as you said, the pace has dropped towards the end of the third and final round. Kункабаев just caught by the left hand again there as he careered forward, somewhat out of control.
Well, Жалолов looked like he might be in total control after the first round. The gap between them closed literally in every way through the second and the third. Жалолов was a little bit
Уважаемые друзья, это спорт, кто-то должен выиграть. Подпишитесь на мой канал. Спасибо за поддержку. Aka-ukalar kanalga obuna bo'linglar. Albatta bu sport, kimdir albatta g'alaba qozonish kerak. Другой вариант нет. Спасибо. Rahmat, omon bo'linglar. Oltin medal bilan tabriklaymiz hammani.
Silver medal. Otherwise, it's been gold tonight for the Uzbek team. Are they going to grab another one? Or Kazakhstan going to get on the board?
The winner by unanimous decision in the red corner representing Uzbekistan.
Жалолов it is who does it again. And having won it in 2017, beating Kункабаев. 2019, beating Kункабаев. 2021, he wins it again, beating Kункабаев, who must be sick of the sight of Boходир Жалолов, who makes it 6 out of 7 on the night for Uzbekistan.
Well, very strong showing from them as we expected. Really, it's not quite enough to catch up with Kazakhstan, who won 8 gold medals yesterday in the women's. Uzbekistan took 1 as well, so that sees them finish on the overall medals table on 7 gold. So those two powerhouses right up at the top of the medals table, one dominating the women's section, the other dominating the men's. Uzbekistan in the last 3 Asian Championships have led the way in the men's half of the competition. Good day for Mongolia as well, 3 wins for them. And that gold medal for India too, and we've seen some fantastic fights. Out of those 10 finals, 7 of them going to a split decision, which, as we've been saying on the way through, tells you its own story. You always know that the standard is going to be extremely high in these continental championships, and that has proven to be the case from what we've seen over the whole of the last week, but particularly the last couple of days.
And here we see some of the action from that contest. Definitely it was defence and then counter-attack in the first round particularly. It was so classy and so eye-catching from Жалолов. Despite his better efforts, Kункабаев couldn't quite land as many shots as he wanted to. A few more in the second and third rounds. He gave it absolutely everything. Really, for much of that, they almost look like two fighters in different weight classes, really. And there you see it. Another one for him, and another one for Uzbekistan.
Well, he's on quite a run, isn't he?